Good morning and happy day 10 of my challenge. I am so excited to get going today. Today's featured media is an episode from How I Met Your Mother, specifically the episode The Time Travelers. I'll also be mentioning the finale, so spoiler alert if you haven't seen that yet. I find this show alternately endearing and enraging, but it's one of my favorites to analyze from a craft perspective because I think it's full of so many useful nuggets of wisdom with regard to narrative structure and character arc. The episode begins pretty typically, with Ted explaining to his children that he'll be telling them a story about how he met their mother, and then with Ted and the entire gang at the bar. Barney tries to convince Ted to go see Robots vs. Wrestlers, which isn't anything new. If you've been watching, you're well aware of this phenomenon and how it typically incites Barney in particular. But Ted doesn't want to go because he wants to spend the night preparing for class, which is also pretty typical. Barney tells him he'll regret not going when he looks back on the moment in 20 years. Ted brushes this off. But then, there's a twist. Barney gets some help from his own future self, who appears next to Ted in the booth and tries to convince him to go to Robots vs. Wrestlers. He is soon joined by future Ted himself. So then Barney, and future Ted all try to convince present-day Ted to go to Robots vs. Wrestlers. And they've just about succeeded when suddenly, Ted from 20 hours in the future appears and warns current Ted that he will regret going because it'll lead to a massive hangover and a sprained wrist. Present-day Ted decides he just won't drink then. They're all about to leave again when suddenly they're stopped by another Barney 20 minutes from now, with a stain on his shirt from the meatball present-day Barney is about to drop. 20 minutes from now, Barney tells them to watch the door, and a girl walks in. It's Coat Check Girl from 7 years and I don't know how many episodes ago. Current Ted has just worked up the courage to talk to her when suddenly, he's pulled away by future iterations of Coat Check Girl. One who is obsessed with Ted and annoying, and one who is sick of Ted. He asks why things turned out the way they did, and one of them points out that he's been dating for a long time and it hasn't really gone any other way. It's a heart-wrenching moment that clues us into the fact that the episode is about to take a dark turn. And it does. Ted returns to the table, where Barney is still sitting, and tells him that he's going to go home. Barney is unsurprised and tells him that he understands, which surprises Ted. He's all like, "Why aren't you trying to stop me?" And Barney says, "How would I do that?" And Ted gives one of his little romantic monologues where he says, life is short and he should seize every moment before it's gone. And then Barney reveals the crux of the entire episode. He tells him that this moment is already gone. All of this either happened already years ago or is just part of Ted's imagination. All his friends were too busy to come out, and Ted is just sitting all alone at the bar right now, with a single ticket to Robots vs. Wrestlers. Future Ted tells his kids that it's been 20 years since that night, but that if he could relive it, he wouldn't go to Robots vs. Wrestlers. Instead, he'd visit his old apartment and see his friends. But first, he would visit their mother at her apartment and tell her that he'll be meeting her 45 days from now, just so he'd get to have 45 more days with her. And this is one of those episodes that most people probably dismissed as filler if they were watching this series live. Upon rewatch, however, after knowing what happens to the mother at the end of the show, it is absolutely heartbreaking. Definitely in my top 3 most heartbreaking episodes of this show, but I do really like this episode for its narrative frame. We already know Ted is an unreliable narrator, so why not have fun with it? It's a cool premise. So today's prompt is to write a story where your main character meets and is advised by their future or past self, or both. It's just before 4:30 and I just hit my goal. I am So excited to be done. I am definitely going to be taking a nap today, probably for the whole weekend, but then I will probably post a video sometime in the near future telling you what I learned through this process and through this experience of writing 50,000 words in 10 days. I learned quite a bit, so I'm excited to share all that. Thank you so much for joining me today and through this whole challenge. I had a great time. I hope you did too. Be on the lookout for more videos. In the new year, I'll be posting every Thursday, so be on the lookout for that, and I will see you soon. Bye.